Gate of Ubud Palace. The Ubud Palace, officially Puri Saran Agung, is a historical building complex situated in Ubud, Gianyar Regency of Bali, Indonesia. It was on his travels that he received a divine revelation that in Bali he was to bury 5 precious metals on a mountain slope where the mother temple of Basaka now stands today. Along with a group of followers, RSI Marcania was magnetically attracted to a destination located in the central foothills of the island that radiated light and energy. This place was Kampuhan in Ubud at a junction in the Woes River, and it was here that he felt compelled to build a temple by the name of Pura Gunung Leba. On subsequent expeditions around Bali, RSI Marcania built a number of other significant temples and created a shared irrigation system for the terraced landscape that is still practiced by farmers today. The formation of the Banjar, which is a village council responsible for community and religious affairs, was also inspired by this holy man. In essence, it can be said that RSI Marcania is responsible for the foundation of Balinese Hinduism in its purest form, referred to as Agama Tirta, or the religion of holy water. Since being discovered back in the 8th century, the area of Kampuhan has always been highly regarded by the Balinese for its immense spiritual powers. Even the term Ubud is derived from the term Ubad, meaning medicine, in reference to the traditional healing properties of the array of plants that randomly grow here. Generations of Hindu worshippers have made special pilgrimages to the fork in the Woes River to meditate, bathe, and collect holy water for temple ceremonies and cleansing rituals. There had always been ties between Java and Bali, but it was the disintegration of the once mighty Majapahit kingdom in the 15th century that saw a mass exodus of nobles to Bali. A new kingdom on the island's east coast called Gelgel was consequently established and gave sanctuary to many important ruling families. They brought with them an artistic legacy and the principles of the caste system. By the 17th century, Bali invariably experienced a rapid emergence of new kingdoms, including the founding of several royal houses in Ubud. However, this period also saw much conflict between the royal clans, with supremacy as the ultimate goal. A prince from Klungkung was sent to create a palace in Sukawati as a center of great power and aesthetic beauty. Artisans came from all over Bali to help in its construction, and once completed, many of them chose to stay. Sukawati today is a community that strongly supports all forms of artistry as well as dance and music. With the successful establishment of a reigning authority in Sukawati, palace retainers were then sent in the late 1700s to secure the area of Ubud. A pair of cousins formed rival communities in Padang Tagal and further north in the area of Taman. Following subsequent fighting between these neighboring villages, the king of Sukawati sent his brothers Tjokerd and Gurutabanan to Piliatan and Tjokerd Tangban to Sambahan to establish palaces with the notion to control these troubled areas. Despite early feudalistic struggles between the kingdoms of Piliatan and Mengwai, the two overcame their differences following a battle that is said to have involved magical powers. Thereafter, the people of Mengwai moved to help populate Ubud, and during the latter 1800s the entire area began to flourish with plentiful rice supplies and a booming economy. By the middle of the 19th century there was a certain anti-Dutch sentiment brewing within the kingdoms, and conflict was still rife. Mengwai experienced a bitter defeat and all land was distributed between its aggressors. Several of the battles that took place were actually fueled by the Dutch, and it was an unusual time that saw opposing kingdoms suddenly form alliances. The colonizing Dutch authorities chose to start interfering with the island's politics at the beginning of the 20th century. Under the leadership of Tjokerd Gedrika Sukawati, Ubud came to be known as a sub-regency, and then much later in 1981 became a sub-district, taking over the administration of 13 neighborhoods and 7 traditional villages. The district of Ubud today encompasses all areas within the boundaries of Tagalalan, Piliatan, Mas, and Kadwatan. Bali saw a significant influx of overseas visitors during the 1930s. This first wave of tourism was focused in and around Ubud due to the business confidence of Tjokerd Ged Agung Sukawati, who was proficient in English and Dutch. He had established a small guest house, and his older brother Tjokerd Rika Sukawati, who lived across the street, took the initiative to welcome the celebrated artist cum composer Walter Spears to Ubud to live and work. This set a trend for other foreign artists, and soon the likes of Rudolf Bonnet and Willem Hofker arrived to set up easel and paint. The vision to establish a painters' association was born in 1936 and saw a collaboration to form the Pita Maha between T. Jokertged Agung, Spies, Bonnet, and several local artists. With the help of the American composer Colin McPhee, who had built a home along the stunning Sayan Ridge, the group was responsible for bringing together some of Bali's greatest artists to teach painting, dance, and music to a younger generation. Ubud developed the reputation as being the cultural pulse of Bali, and that image still stands today. The Japanese invaded, and this was later followed by a violent struggle against the Dutch for independence. Indonesian people gained its freedom and its first president in 1945, but some 20 years later a so-called communist coup saw thousands of murders across the archipelago. Many lives were stolen, especially in Ubud, and it is local folklore that the white egrets inhabiting the area of Pechelu are actually the lost souls of those who were massacred. After almost 20 years of uncertainty, tourism resumed in Ubud during the 1970s when backpackers and hippies set out to seek new experiences. A steady flow of visitors have since found themselves captivated by the intense beauty of the landscape and gracious hospitality of its people. Ubud has managed to embrace the 21st century with dignity and still retain its timeless artistry, culture, and religion. It is a significant destination blessed with a strong sense of community and rare spiritual energy.